Good evening, John. How are you?
All right, Gary, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad at all. How are things with the spirit world?
Oh, well, I've been doing my homework as I've explained to you. And from now on out, I'm going to be doing a subject per night rather than random stories from here and there. Tonight's stories are all going to be from the Ouija board.
Oh, right.
Now, you
Scary,
can't, you don't take that lightly. I'll explain first, right? If it was brought out as a board game.
Good God.
Yes, and you can still buy one now from Amazon
Oh,
or any other retailer, I suppose.
I don't
And
know
it's
about
and
that.
it's marketed as a toy, Gary.
Good God. I know a
So
lot of
yes,
people.
so they'll be interesting. I got two stories here, and I'll never ever do it again. But I've got stories which I know 100% they true because it happened to me.
Oh, right. Well, they'll be interesting to listen to, won't they?
They will be.
Right.
Hey,
So,
what do you think of our Mr. Trump?
well, he's the only one that can sort out Ukraine, I think.
Well, time will tell. But I think he'll try to give a bit too much to Russia the way things are going.
Yeah. I
But
don't
we
know.
don't know yet. We will see what he does now.
He's got his inauguration's January, and he said he's going to sort it out before then. So it'll be after Christmas, I should imagine, isn't it?
Has he got power then to do anything before he goes in?
I think so, yeah. I think the inauguration is just like the fancy part about it, but I think he is the chosen president at the moment, isn't he?
Well, yeah, he's what do they call it? The something president. I can't remember. The incoming, I think it means, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure, like the other guy, I can't remember his name now. He's president until January.
Oh, right.
I don't know, Gary. I might be wrong.
Yeah, maybe it is Biden, isn't it? Perhaps he's
Yeah,
still president till January.
Biden. That's right,
See.
man.
Yeah, we'll see, innit?
So it's me and him. I can't remember his name.
I know. God alive. I can't remember. My memory's all to hell, John.
I tell you what, mine's gone really bad. You know. I go into the co-op and I really forget what I want. I've got to write every list now on my phone.
Yeah, I know. I take a bit of paper because if I write it on my phone, I can't remember. I leave my phone in the house.
Yeah. Oh, honest to God, my memory has gone bad, but
Hey,
you
what
know,
about all these viewers you've had to your ghost stories?
I know I'm quite excited about it.
Well, I can't believe it because first off, it was starting at 70,
Yeah,
and then it shot up then after that.
but I don't think
Just
many watch it live, do they?
not many people watch it live, but they seem to watch it later on. We had 2,800.
From last week, is it?
Yeah,
That's all right.
well, bringing good,
We
isn't
be we be superstars now, guys.
it? Yeah, 2,800. It's good for a week.
Oh yeah,
Very good. Right, are you about to say your stories then?
yeah. We can. I am. We have a quick look now. Yes, I'm ready. As ready as I will ever be.
Okay, I'll remove myself.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As I said earlier to Gary, this ghost stories I'm doing now are not going to be like I get sent loads and loads, right? So I'm not going to do this one there and that one different. What I'm going to do every single week is do a subject and stick to that, do a few stories of that same subject. I can explain a bit what I want, and then if you can leave comments, see what you think. That'll be great. I'd love to have some feedback off you too. You know. So I've got two stories today, but as I was printing them out, my printer stopped working. So, as luck would have it, or whatever, when I was a bit younger, yeah, obviously a lot younger, I was in my 20s. We was working in a factory local to here called Kenfig Industrial Estate down that way. And, when we done a work, we might have an hour. And one day we started doing stuff, and it went from there. And I've got quite a few stories to tell there. So let me introduce you now to the Ouija board. Now, the Ouija board, as it is today, really started in the 19th century, I can't remember the exact date. I think it was the 1870s. They brought it out. It was brought out as a parlor game. Now, it started off as, because in them days, right, psychics and trying to reach the dead, if you want, was very popular. And so they brought this game out. And as it happens, still today, you can buy a Ouija board from any retailer you can find online. Or I've never seen one in a shop, but apparently you can buy them, and they are sold in the toy section. And believe you me, they're not toys. I would urge every one of you not to use one. It's not to be used as a toy. It's not even used for the light-heartedness of messing about, because I believe that you can enter people in, or beings or entities. You can let them in, and it's a very serious matter. So that's a little bit, a little bit of history of the Ouija board. And the Ouija obviously is Ouija. It's a yes in French and yes in German. So it's a yes board. And they also, there's another spin-off to it called Spirit in the Glass, which is the one I did. Basically, it's a homemade one. You do all the letters up in one semicircle, numbers in another semicircle, yes or no, goodbye. And so you do them in little bits of paper and use a glass instead of the panchet. So, without further ado, I'll get on to these stories now then. So, this one, very short one, says, my fiance made a homemade Ouija board. It was the first time I'd ever played with one that wasn't bought in a store. I was also new to the real rules, and I made plenty of mistakes when I played alone. I talked with something that told me it was my deceased grandfather. My grandfather and I were closer than anyone knew. Losing him was so hard, and I still struggle with it daily. My grandfather had multiple myeloma. The board started going to MLM, and I couldn't figure out why. Finally, it spelled out multiple myeloma. I said, what do you mean? It said, you have it. I instantly got terrified and ran to get to my mother. She came in and we continued the conversation. It spoke with her too. I asked the board, sorry, are you telling me that I am sick? And it went to yes. I had a panic attack. And after that, I had a weird sense of an oddly calm feeling. Then weird things started happening around that room. Like sounds like somebody stamping around or knocking. So I did eventually go to the doctor, and they actually confirmed that I did have multiple myeloma. So it is under control and everything. But I would never have found out if it wasn't for that board. But we did get rid of the board, and things have slowly returned to normal after about a year. Was it a warning, or did I encounter something that I wasn't supposed to? Now, so this one is story going back to 2008. So it's a different story, of course. So in 2008, when I was 13, I used the Ouija board to try to contact my mother a couple of weeks after she passed away. She passed, they said, from diabetes and kidney failure. She was only 42, and just a couple of months before her 43rd birthday. Anyway, I tried to contact her. Nothing happened within the first month, but I kept on and on, you see, and eventually things started going. It was calming at first because I thought it was her. When I was a kid, when I was sick and couldn't sleep, she would play with my hair and rub my back and calm me and help me sleep. I'm also diabetic, and I have been since I'm the age of 5. So I am sick a lot. And they're telling me my kidneys will soon be failing. I'm hoping to get a kidney and a pancreas transplant sometime after December. And so then hopefully I'll no longer be diabetic. I've just turned 30 and I've had diabetes for 25 years now, which is type 1. Anyway, things were fine at first. One night, of many after that first month, I would feel a calming presence and feel someone sit on my bed and play with my hair and rub my back while I fell asleep. Now, this one particular night, he decided to talk what I thought was my mother. I said, "Thank you for being here. I miss you, Mommy." I was greeted then with a dark, deep, raspy voice that said, "I'm not your mother," and felt red-hot scratches on my back. I screamed. I jumped up, running into my father's room. He looked at my back, and there were 3 red scratch marks on my back, from the middle of my shoulders down to my lower back. But my father didn't believe me, and he said I'd done it in my sleep. I didn't know where to turn. And from then, I've experienced quite a lot. I was pushed down the stairs. I've had knives thrown at me, and it even hurt a dog that I had before. But one memory that still messes with me is a dream. I dreamt I was being strangled and my body was being squeezed by something. And I woke up with handprint bruises on my neck and a bruised rib. I have caught this thing on camera too. I have to find the video, but the silhouette looks like a real tall woman with a tight bun on her head. It followed me to my current house as well, and it stays in the back hallway. In my old room here, it would stand in the corner of my room behind the door, and I could hear it breathe. Recently, in the last 5 years, I have felt a calming presence, and the bad presence would leave for a while. And I really do think now, this calming presence, I think it is my mother. And one side note that she's put on here, where she did forget to say goodbye to the Ouija board. Now, was that the Ouija board? Was it your imagination? That, again, that would be for you to enter into the comments. Now, that's got to be so scary. Can you imagine that in the middle of the night, hearing that voice, just telling it, "I'm not your mother"? Oh, that would be terrifying. Anyway, as you can see now, I haven't got no notes because I'm just about to tell you. Now, I think Gary's coming in on that in a minute.
Yeah, the second one was worse than the first one.
Oh, definitely. You know, you've got some that will just tell you. I've had loads and loads, basically taking up a lot of space, saying the likes of just they contacted somebody, they came through, they had the chat, they found this. That I had somebody, you know, that the father left them something in the will, and he told them he left something in the will. And the stepmother said, "There's nothing, there isn't, it's all left to me, and there's nothing for you." And then they went onto the board. They they had, I think it was like 3 letters, and then another bank of letters which fit the bank account. And they looked into it, and he did have a bank account with the instructions to pay his daughter out. Them exact numbers.
Good God.
Yeah, but I've had loads of them things coming through, which are not really scary, but you still really don't mess with it, you know?
Yeah.
Because the ones I'm...
Can you remember that film, The Poltergeist?
Mm,
That was scary, wasn't it?
very scary. Probably the scariest, let me see, character in a horror film I've ever seen is that tall man, you know?
Yeah. Oh,
And then the
horrible,
little
wasn't
woman, innit?
it? Where was the little woman?
Oh, she was the psychic, wasn't she? Going in to help her.
That's right.
Go to the light, carry on.
Yeah. Oh,
Ooh.
horrible.
Right, but the ones I'm about to tell you now, Gary, are the ones that I've actually experienced in the work there.
Okay, I'll move over now.
Right. Yeah, so like I was just saying to Gary now, these ones I haven't got no notes from me for this because it's all through memory. Like I said, and I remember how it all started down there. We were on a night shift, we'd finish, we used to chat sometimes, we used to get the stuff ready for the next morning, just sorting things out, clean up and things. And then we started talking one day about the supernatural and whatever. And again, this is quite scary if you ever try to do this. So somebody said, I don't know if it was me, but somebody said, if you was to put a candle, and I can't remember now, was it a candle in front of me and a candle in front of somebody else, you're sitting on a table opposite each other? Or do you put it in the middle, one candle in the middle? I can't remember. And you look into that, but stare at the people's face there, right? And see what happens. Well, what does happen, it got to be a trick of the light, I think, right? Because that person, obviously you can't see your own face, but that person's face changes, and it changes dramatically. So again, I'm not going to encourage you to do that. But that's how it started with us, and we started doing it, and it did work. So we started talking about other things, and then somebody started talking about spirit in the glass. So I'll go straight into what happened. So we went there. There must have been about 8 of us all around the table. We done like the sequence of the numbers, the letters, hello, goodbye, yes and no. That's what we did, and glass in the middle. Now it starts to go round and round and round, and you always think somebody's pushing it, and we're all laughing and joking and messing about. And then it started spelling out bed in work, and it kept on doing that, and so it wasn't making sense to none of us, see. And there's one fella there, and he started saying, well, who's pushing that? And who knows what So none of us had a clue. We said goodbye and we had a chat. We did say goodbye. And then we had a chat to this fella. And he was working on his own on the Saturday. And it came to the evening now, he's ready to go, and he went out the back into the cabin. It was out the back where we used to have our breaks. And in the skip, he was putting cardboard in the skip, that's right. And there was a bed there in the skip. And he was there like that, he had his car there. It was brand new, he said. Absolutely brand new. So, I won't mention his name, but him being him, he took the bed out and he took it home. And so we resumed the next night. and it again started spelling out bed in work, and then it started going my bed. It said about this person was spelling out that he had died in the bed. Please get rid of the bed. And although the bloke after that session, the bloke laughed. He said, "I'm not getting rid of it." He said, with a bit of bravado. I still don't know to this day whether he did or didn't. But none of us on that table knew that there was a bed there in the first place. So that was a bit scary with that one. I'll tell you another two. The last one is the most scary, you see. We were doing the Ouija now in that cabin, I said, where we would have something to eat, right? So we were doing it. Now we had a general foreman, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. I was like foreman of my section, and there was the other guys there on the section. We had one guy who was in charge of us all. Now the guy who was in charge of us all, like workmates are normally, we are their friends, of course, right? But we don't know them, do we? We work with them. So you become friends with them, but you don't know nothing in their personal life. So we're in the cabin, and this glass is moving around, and it's spelling different things, and we're having a bit of a laugh and joke. And the general foreman came in. He's from Cardiff, right? Nobody knew his private life whatsoever. So he's not even from the area. So as he walked in the door, it started spelling out Chocky, Chocky, all the time. And he was going quicker and quicker and quicker. Chocky. And then he would spell, and then it stopped dead, and it spelled out, "Oh, my Chocky." And I could use something. I looked round, and this fella from Cardiff, he was sobbing his heart out. Now, again, after, he walked away, and after I went up to him, and he said his wife had passed away with cancer, and we didn't know this. And that was her nickname for him. She used to call him Chocky all the time. From when they were courting, they were married for like, I don't know, say 30, 40 years, for a long time. And that's what he used to call her. Now, that was really scary. And during the same session, he would go in, they spelt out, right? There was about 7 of us there, maybe a little bit more, but they said 4 of you finish by Christmas. Now, the factory we had down there, it was like easy to, a lot of turnover for jobs there, because it wasn't a very nice place to work, right? You really had to work hard. I wasn't very nice conditions, and the pay wasn't brilliant, right? But it was a job. So he was all, and so we thought, it's easy. We will finish. We'll do it, and then. But the 4 guys that I mentioned that were foremen, for one reason or another, every one of us had the sack by Christmas. Me included. And I tell you what I had the sack for, which was ridiculous. One of the blokes that were working under me, because like I said, I was foreman of my section. He lit a banger firework, and he put it under somebody's feet, right? Although at the time it was quite funny, right? But anyway, it went off. Now, he reported it. Now, unbelievably, the bloke who lit it, nothing happened to him. But because I was in charge of him, I had the sack. So anyway, work that out. But yeah, I had the sack, and the 3 other section foremen, they got sacked just before Christmas as well, uncanny. Now, the last one of all, this one was really scary. We were in same place, right, but different area. We was in the lab now, and he was going, and he was getting, it seemed to be getting a bit angry in that, see? So he was going a bit quick, and he was going, I'll scare you. Honestly, I wasn't, to tell you the truth, because I really don't like things like that, right? But everyone was laughing. I go on in, scare us. And all of us, I'm not joking you, all of a sudden, everything in the factory, everything shut down. Boo! You could hear it going down like that. All the lights went out. And it's never, ever happened before and never happened again. The whole lot just went down, right? And we screaming, we didn't know what was going on. Well, it lasted about 3 seconds, right? And then so we were still sat there. And when we got back onto the table, we put our fingers on again, and it just started going, ha ha ha, see your faces. Oh, right, that was really scary. And then the lights went out again with all the machinery. And it was something simple, but it had never happened before, never happened since. We didn't know what was on, so we had to call the engineer out. Obviously, there was no mobiles then, but the phone lines were still working, so we phoned the engineer out. He came down, and it was the main fuse of the whole factory that had blown. But all right, accept that. It might happen, but it's, like I said, never happened before, never happened since. How did it go and then come back on again? Right? Because fuses, once they go, they go. So that's what, in the weeks to come, we started in. And after that, that's when we stopped. We said, enough's enough. We're not doing that anymore. So that's my experience with the Ouija board. I implore you not to do it. Not to just do what I did there, and even the candles. It is scary, right? So that's just a warning I'm putting out there before you do it. Right, well, that's the stories for tonight, Gary. But next week, you see, I'm going to do the Shadow Man. Now, loads and loads of people have seen the Shadow Man. They call it different things: Slender Man, Shadow Man, the Man in Black. Even people normally see him when they're in bed. Now, I've got loads of stories there, so I'm going to read them. Thank God I've never seen that. So if I can't print them off next week, I've had it, because I've never seen anything like that. So, what do you think of them? What do you think of them stories for tonight, Gary?
Very good. Quite scary, weren't they?
But that time when all the lights went out at that exact time, that was unbelievably scary.
Yeah, thing is, people shouldn't play with it, although it's available as a kid's game in Amazon, whatever. You don't know what you're inviting in.
Honest to God, people say that it can't be spirits like that. I wouldn't do it again. No, it does work, right? Now, people suggested to me it's something in your unconscious mind or whatever. I don't know what it is, but all I know is it works.
I'll leave it there.
Yes, indeed, certainly.
Right, so next week, the Shadow Man.
Yes.
Okay.
So I urge maybe the viewers to have a little look what I'm talking about. It's all on the internet there and whatnot. But I've had stories from genuine people that have actually seen him. So it's not stories that I've just picked up here and there. It is from the general public, if you want.
Yeah. Well, when I moved to Skewin, as I said the other day, we seen the tall figure, but it's in the corner of your eye. And as soon as you turn, it's gone. You know.
Yeah.
But the doors are opening by themselves, and it's a horrible place to live. I didn't stay there long. Too scary.
Don't blame him.
All right, so everybody, thank you for subscribing and viewing. We've had nearly 3,000 views. We're 2,800 on the last show, and let's see if we can make it better. And comments we want on all of John's stories.
Yes, I'd like that. I'd like a bit of feedback to see what's happening.
And,
I can't see. Is there anybody listening now, Gar?
It says there's 2 listening.
Oh, there we are.
And they're on Facebook. on Neath Talbot Life. So there's 2 in there. So we'll see you again at 9:30 next Sunday.
Indeed. Have a good week. Sleep well. And I'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye.